why aren't you seeing the bright things? No, I love them. They're there. But this dust, and it's picking up, it's growing up.
घर में कचरा था, बाउंड्री
वॉल पेंट कर रहा था.
हाँ, कि मैं बाउंड्री वॉल पेंट कर रहा था, आंगन गंदा पड़ा था.
Don't you think as a person I may have more struggle than being an actor to do something actually did not happen, but we are trying to talk about it?
So yes, it is a situation where I do feel that this kind of cinema is finding it tough. That previous film of this actor was this much, previous was this much. So we are all guilty of this practice.
Capital punishment. I'm not pro of many of such things. I want the world to more and more to go into the least violent state.
They are waiting for Assi. I'm not saying Assi the film, but they're waiting for films like these.
It's a torture right now for me to get back to it for this 1 week for the release because I have to constantly keep posting something. I'm looking forward to going off it again.
Because we don't realize, men, that a woman walking down the street has a different experience from what a man has.
When I was 17, if I wear a denim, I'll be booed on the road. And to now, denim is normal in Kerala. I'm like, I saw it in my lifetime. I'm like,
Shah Rukh Khan is single-handedly responsible for this chivalry.
Chivalry, yeah. Assi. That's the title of Anubhav Sinha's upcoming film. And a sordid one as well, because that's the number of rapes that are reported in India every single day in 24 hours. That's one around 20 minutes. I have the director Anubhav Sinha with me and actress Taapsee Pannu, Kani Kusruti. I will not start this interview on a chirpy note, welcome you guys for this, but I'll just say thank you for the film. I just finished watching it a while ago. I'm still processing it. So I'll try to have this conversation as coherently as I can. But I'm going to say this is, which I was telling Kani just now, that it's one of the rare films that have sort of impacted me, shaken me. And that doesn't happen because we as entertainment journalists become jaded after watching like 100 titles a year. So thank you for reminding me what cinema can do. Thank you for that.
So nice.
But where does it come from, Anubhav sir, a film like this? Does it come from anger, frustration, or just a will to tell this story?
Anger happens on the way after something disturbs you, nags you consistently. Most of the anger is towards one's own self. But what have I done about it? You know, I'm that irritating guy in the room who is looking at the dust under the bed, the dust behind the cupboard. The rest of the room is looking awesome. And then you become that guy, then, why aren't you seeing the bright things? No, I love them. They're there. But this dust, and it's picking up, it's growing up.
घर में कचरा था, बाउंड्री
वॉल पेंट कर रहा था.
हाँ, कि मैं बाउंड्री वॉल पेंट कर रहा था, आंगन गंदा पड़ा था. तो वो, people will know this when they see the film, what we are talking about. So, I'm that guy. I'm like my father. कि ऐसा नहीं था कि वो बिजली का बिल नहीं दे सकते थे. But he would always nag about लाइट ऑफ करो कमरे की, थाली में खाना क्यों छूटा. Now, in hindsight, it's a good thing that he kept saying it, and it's become a part of my life that I will not leave a room with an additional light on. So, but when you start investigating it, you also encounter anger. Right.
But creativity cannot stem from just anger alone, right?
No, of course not.
Because that's a very negative. It can spark something.
Yeah.
But then other things have to come. What I like about this film, and I'll ask all three of you this is, it does not portray rape, assault in any sort of, through any sort of male gaze, which our mainstream Hindi cinema has been guilty of doing for the longest time. It was a trope, and Taapsee has spoken about it, that hero's sister would get raped as a tool to make him vengeful. So we'll always be invested in what the hero is feeling while another character is being raped or is being assaulted or is being murdered for that matter. This film doesn't do that. It flips that, and other films have done that recently. That was a very conscious call, right?
Yeah.
And were you conscious of this having been done before, like, the other part? Or did you just come from your own sensibility towards it?
The other part of...
rape being used as sometimes titillating, sometimes just to jar you, sometimes just to shock you.
No. It's of course, that never occurred to me actually. The idea was to, and also in the manner the assault is picturized, is to, the next time you read about it, you should not be comfortable with it at all. You should have a reaction and objection to it. So, I was aware of certain films that I value on this subject matter, like let's say Damini. Even Insaf Ka Tarazu back in the day, I don't know if you...
Right, of course.
So, you think of those films because you don't want to do something that's been done before. So you're making sure that I'm not doing anything of that sort. So you go back and look at those films, To Kill a Mockingbird, and films like those. So I was aware of what has happened, and I was aware what I was doing, and no, it was never an idea to use rape as a tool to create a hero.
Right. And that is very apparent. Kani, I'll come to you. I don't know what your process of performing is, but this character, once you get into her psyche, how difficult is it to get out of that? To not let it sort of overpower you? Because she's in a very, very vulnerable place in her life. So how do you do that? How do you balance things?
Honestly, like, I think most women in India, you've gone through some kind of an assault at one point in your life. That's really the number probably.
Right.
So that way, don't you think as a person, I may have more struggle than being an actor to do something actually did not happen, but we are trying to talk about it. So that way, it's way easier than living here, you know, when I think of it.
That's a sad statement. I mean, that's true, but that is,
Yeah, this is where I know that all my co-actors, we all are trying to do something, and like all the co-actors, they were all quite terrified to do it, and we were talking about it and all, but that's still much better place where we're trying to talk about it. Rather, you go through on day-to-day basis, like, should I go out right now? What should I do? Am I like, if you're empty on a street, how do you feel? Even if something happened, can you kind of share this to someone you're close to? If I go and complain about it, how is the society going to look at me? My close people, are they going to trust? Or would they say, you shouldn't have gone out only, you shouldn't have just, from out of love, they would say like, one can also feel guilty, like, oh, I should have just not, why didn't I just go with somebody? Like every time you find reasons to just blame yourself. So in that aspect, I find making a film, making an art about a subject that really matters to us is slightly easier in terms of than the actual reality. That's why you kind of end up doing. So that way, no, in that way, that aspect, like, because I've been with people, or I myself have been into situations where I had to come out of it. In comparison to that, I thought this was easier to do in terms of, because it did not actually happen. We are trying to make something. We are making us think, and what can we do for it to not happen? And if it happens, how does justice arrive? What is exactly justice? How do you move on? All that kind of ponders in you, right?
This is for Taapsee. You know, we have the first asset for the film that came out, called it an urgent watch. And that's a very interesting word to use, because I will always say, in the post-pandemic, this notion has been floated that cinema is about escapism, that you want to go to the theaters to escape. This film does not offer escape. It's forcing you to confront what is happening in front of you. Now what happens is, people say, oh, but is it a theatrical watch or not? For me, it is. But to play the devil's advocate, people might not want to take people with them. How do you balance that? Do you think this is something that should be watched by most people? Because it is.
Yeah, things have changed after pandemic. Let's just face the reality. But then let's just say the change is the only constant.
Right.
So yes, it is a situation where I do feel that this kind of cinema is finding it tough right now, and we really are hanging on a hope.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about theater, should we watch it in theater or no? It's also about today OTT's mandates being like, where you don't want to pick up a film like this if it doesn't do well in theaters.
Yeah.
So the audience doesn't know this reality, because for them it's like, yeah, we'll watch it. We'll watch it on OTT. But you won't get it on OTT also very soon.
Right.
So that reality they don't know. So I hope they get to know this. I hope they still value this kind of cinema. I hope that they change things again, because they have done it in the past. They can do it again. But we are on that hope.
Yeah, and I also dislike, and my fraternity is just as guilty of doing it as the producers are, of making box office collections a metric of how good a film is. And that has happened in the last 7, 8 years, 10 years probably.
Yeah, and their audience is quoting numbers now.
I am surprised about how many people on random Twitter and Reddit forums know what a net and gross collection is today. 5 years ago journalist को नहीं पता होता था.
Yeah.
But this change of this change of इस film ने तो इतना ही कमाया है, शायद ये देखने लायक नहीं है.
But you know, they don't even know basic concept of ROI of a film.
Yeah, true.
Return of investment. Most of the people are doing some sort of business, small, big scale. They should know what ROI is. And this is also business, yes. So the ROI for this kind of a film, if it does basic well, is huge in comparison to other films that you call like big films.
Of course.
And also I feel they don't even understand the math of screens, shows.
True.
So you say, oh yeah, it's a big known face. So they assume that her previous film was, or his previous film was on 2000 screens. So that got 15 crore opening. So this one should also get a 15 crore opening. Yeah. But that's not how it works. Every film has a certain number of screen count that you're given. And that's basically also dependent upon the genre, not just the actor. And if a film only gets a 500 screen versus the previous film of that person who is 2000 screens, so obviously the number of shows are less, the collections are going to be less. But all this logic they don't know.
I think the context is sometimes not even reported as much.
Yeah.
Because we give just the basic numbers.
Just number.
Yeah, and comparisons.
Yeah. That previous film of this actor was this much, previous was this much. So we are all guilty of this practice. And again, it requires a lot of understanding, knowledge that in the fast-paced world today, the people don't want to invest time in that. We just quickly want to come to conclusions and judgment and move forward.
But then there are films, and I hope Assi is one of them, that have broken this because people have gone to those after hearing it from other people. The word of mouth, which used to be central to our industry, it has helped something like a 12th Fail for that matter.
Yeah.
Or a Lapata Ladies.
Yeah.
It helped them. I don't know to what extent, but again,
It does.
And that sort of breaks that notion that no, if you bombard people and if you do city tours, only then you can get, and that is also a requirement for certain kinds of films. But do you find yourself battling with that as a producer as well, on how to promote a film?
We are also doing city tours, but of a different kind. Yeah.
It's a challenge. You know, over X number of years, we labeled films in different boxes. Yeah. Right? So, that got communicated to the audience as well. And the audience likes to believe that they know. Anybody likes to believe that he knows. So now they are playing that game, all of them. The producers, the audience, they are all playing that game. In this whole process, what happened was, see, I finished making a film. Now I need X amount of money to take it to you.
Right.
You could be in Etawah, you could be in Agra, you could be in Jamshedpur. And we have past few years, we have started believing that if you are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you are sorted. But the world doesn't work like that. You can be sorted. Like a whole lot of political campaigns happen on social media, but that's a ridiculous amount of money that any movie cannot spend. So it's a challenge to take it to them. And I've been traveling North India past 4 months, small towns. And I personally realized that they want to see this. They want to see Assi. They want to see Article 15. And but it has to reach them that it's coming on this date. We think much less of how difficult it is to take it to someone. They are not, in Bombay we think everyone's looking for trailers. But they are not looking for trailers. They're looking for other things in life. They've got 90% of their life is something else, 95%. So it's a challenge. Then you have to design it for every film differently, and then you have to frugally spend on it. And that's the toughest part. If these films had twice or thrice as much budget to promote it,
yeah, I agree.
Our jobs will be much easier.
I agree. Which is what brings me to a very interesting point is how I'm amazed, because I wasn't there, of how films did it in the 80s and 70s, when there was no social media, when there was no, traditional media was also very nascent, and it did not reach beyond the metros or tier 1
And there weren't as many distractions either. So you
Agreed.
So you put up a poster on the wall, they would see it.
And cinema was the only medium of entertainment for a large part of the
communal
country.
entertainment, community entertainment.
Yeah. So they did it, and now we have to fight the distractions,
Yeah.
which is what we're doing.
We have to distract them from the distraction.
Coming to the film, and this part, of course, I'll put out much later once it comes out. This film also talks about vigilantism, and it is as anti-vigilante as pro-vigilante but
Depending on who you are.
depending on who you are and how you perceive it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give anything away.
Yeah.
Isn't it delicious though to show a vigilante in a film and glamorize him? And how do you not do that?
No, that's a fight. That's a battle, because then you are being counterproductive.
Yeah.
So it was a fight. So I can talk to you later about it off camera. The second one, you may like it, but you say, why did you do that? So that was by design. The first one, I want you to be happy.
Right.
The second one, I want you to be confused. Am I happy? Should I be happy?
And then her character says something about,
Yeah.
the idea of retributive justice, because we have also reduced our justice system to retribution and not reformation, which is what it is supposed to be. I mean, a juvenile center is called a Sudhar Graha. I don't see much Sudhar happening in any judicial system around the world. I'm not indicting India or any country, but our justice system is built in a way that we want blood, not get to the core of it, which your character says we are not addressing why it is happening. We just want this one to get justice from what we believe in.
Because she says also, this will lead to that, then that will lead to this, and then this will lead to that. So that, I think, summarizes that why you cannot indulge in this vigilante system as well.
So you are in line with what your character believes.
Yeah. I'm slightly on the tilted on the I'm tilted on the ideological side in life in general. That's why I would want to believe what Ravi says.
Which is what I did not know I believed in until I heard Ravi say it.
Yeah.
Because like you said, I felt happy when the first thing happened, unexpected, and I was like, okay, this film is going in a different direction, did not see this coming. But when your character says that, I was like, okay, that makes just so much sense. I wish someone had thought of this, like, before that too. For your character too, because like you say, there is this
That's
certain...
what she says too. If we can, we could burn it down, but we don't.
We don't.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I when I was reading the script, I was also like, I don't know where this story is going. This may be not my ideology, but for me, Ravi's character, I mean, it's a center of also like how do you reflect on all of these, and that's very important for me. I mean, like also he said, who you are depends. Is it pro? I don't know. I mean, I I see a clear clarity in it, and in terms of the film, I didn't feel that it's preaching to this thing. It's really showing all this, and then also telling you, you can, if you want, you can kind of see what's kind of is the right way to look at it also.
Where do you stand in vigilantism? If I can put you.
No, I believe I want a system and things to happen peacefully. That's what I believe in. Like, and I'm not pro capital punishment. I'm not pro of many of such things. I want the world to more and more to go into the least violent state and to have conversation and to change, including me, like to every now and then when I feel like I want to impulsively behave or to do something, I ideally want me to pause and then think and then to be considerate to the other, even when they are probably doing something wrong,
Because what I was experiencing was like the first time I felt, oh, nice. And I said, it's a very perverse pleasure. Perverse being very important because you're not supposed to be happy when something violent happens. But that is how sort of mob mentality works, because you're baying for blood and then you want it. So I think you've managed to balance it out very well. Now, let's see how the audience takes it.
I mean, you have to, this is between
The audience is going to
reaction.
love it. I believe I have been working on it in the tier 2 of India past 4 months. I have traveled like a maniac. I've gone to, and I'm not saying because I did that. I think this is what I have seen. They are waiting for Assi. I'm not saying Assi the film, but they're waiting for films like these. Just that on earlier occasions, we didn't serve it to them quite conveniently.
Right, true. You were saying something.
No, I'm saying there's a difference between reaction and response.
Yeah.
So, though we are tempted to react, I think response is what we should focus on.
Yeah, something that she said that
I mean,
you
it's
pause.
my ideal situation. I mostly fail in it, but I admit my failure every time. I mostly react than
I think
response, like
admitting
you
your
said.
failure
But
is a very nice thing to do, which many of us can't
Yeah.
do. Just to know that our initial reaction was probably strong or wrong is a big deal, which not many people even choose to accept, even if they can internally.
Yeah. Because that's where the blame, also a blame game. A lot of things like, I remember when we were promoting these women, talking to people, they're like, oh, they have so many, people have so many accusations on women
Right.
about why this has happened. I said that's because that's human nature to put the blame on something else but yourself. So that's easy and convenient to do. That's why it is her clothes, her time, her character, the parents or her lifestyle or something to do with her, because she is not speaking. She's not in a position, or she doesn't have the strength to right now to speak.
Right.
So the others who are speaking.
On her behalf or
Yeah.
to her. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the kind of blame game that can happen.
One of my favorite interactions in the film, without giving anything away, is when your character, Ravi, is asked by one person from my fraternity, are you not stressed about the trolls? And I was like, very
That's
meta.
my favorite.
Very meta. So, I knew Taapsee is not stressed about trolls. But how did you reach that zen phase when you're not?
In real you're asking?
Yeah, in real.
I just went off that social media obsession. So it's coming from a person, you can imagine, I was one of the first ones to get onto social media.
Yeah, of course.
I have my name as it is, without numbers or random name things. I am, that is added to it. Taapsee Pannu, Taapsee. This is my handle. That basically shows that I was quick enough.
Yeah, before the fans.
Yeah, because I liked, I was a very, very social person who loved talking, interacting with strangers, up until I realized what being a public figure means, and things that come with it.
How things can be twisted.
Yeah, so then I was like, okay, now I need to get into self-preservation mode, because I want to retain my vulnerability. Already my outside is very harsh, rude, and that's a virtue of the life I've lived as a girl in this country, especially Delhi. Then coming to Mumbai by myself, or South first, then here, having made a path for myself in this industry, trying to fight the worst of battles, hear nastiest of things about myself every day. I have endured it all. So it is an obvious thing for my outside to get a little harsh and rough. I don't want the inside to become like that, because I'm using that on daily basis to live, to enjoy my life, to perform certain characters. I don't want that to become hard. So the social media was slowly getting close to that, is why I cut it off.
Was it difficult because you are a social person? I mean, you
am.
responded to me back like 15 years ago,
Yeah.
Twitter, that
Yeah.
you were responding to everybody at
Yeah,
that point of time.
yeah.
So was it difficult to cut that?
Yeah, it was. I had to slowly do it. I first started, I deleted it from my phone. I kept it on my iPad. Slowly, I stopped opening my iPad as well. So now it's almost like I can totally forget it for days. So it has been a little gradual process, but I'm so proud of the fact that I could do it. Now it doesn't matter. I've suddenly felt like 24 hours in a day, a lot.
It's a lot.
I can do so much.
It's a lot.
So there's so many new hobbies that I have started in life, things I've learned in life about myself, about my surroundings. I'm blessed, so I don't even feel the need to go back to it. It's a torture right now for me to get back to it for this 1 week for the release, because I have to constantly keep posting something. I'm looking forward to going off it again.
I would say we miss you, but then I also see what it does to us. So we have a nice situation going. I think we should keep it to that.
I'll speak when I'm through my films, and when I meet everybody, I'll speak enough.
You don't meet us enough anyway.
That also is another thing. There are very few of you left worth speaking to.
I'll take that as a compliment. Maybe I'll let the interview finish and listen.
Sounds like one.
I'll ask you this, Anubhav sir, because when I watched the trailer first,
How do I get rid of sir from my name? I find it very odd.
when I
Back to the
You want me to call you
knighthood.
Anubhav?
Yeah.
I will call you.
I want the whole world to call me
I'll call you Anubhav.
Yeah.
then, yeah. Some people have told me to call them sir if I haven't, so I'm just.
Oh, yeah, there
playing it
are.
safe.
No, I hate it. I keep telling everybody, they don't agree.
Also,
Yeah.
it's not a thing for age thing. I'm just respecting what you do.
No.
But it's okay. I
can,
get it.
I can call you sir.
Please do, I don't mind.
On occasions. And this morning
She must know in South I met Rana Daggubati. He's like, sir. I met Kicha Sudeep. He's 20 years older than me, sir. I'm like, please stop. Because we were just going sir to each
No,
other.
but
That's a different thing.
Sir is not an age thing.
It's not an age thing.
Today I
It's
called a parliamentarian, working parliamentarian, sir. He said, sir, please don't call me sir. I said, no, you're a parliamentarian.
Exactly. So I'm just talking to the captain of the ship. That's why I'm calling you, sir. But Anubhav, I'm coming to that. That when I saw the trailer, I was surprised by the child being there. Then I saw the film, and I knew how important it was because of the thing that you were trying to say, that we can't shield our children from this. But what's very interesting is in the cinematography, you have chosen the child's point of view several times.
Yeah.
And that shows that what a child is seeing. First of all, good job with that.
Thank you.
How difficult was it to direct the children?
You lie to them, no? You can't tell them the real script. They're not interested in the script anyway.
Right.
Set is a picnic place for them. So you tell them, like even in Article 15, those 2-3 girls, for the assault sequence, I told them something else, but I was shooting something else. But I meet them with their parents.
Right.
And then I speak to the parents and I seek their consent to do this. And then the child is my friend. So he's my friend. The other day I was in his city and I was doing an interview and he walked into my interview and sat next to me. So that's my relationship with him. Yeah. So I told him something like, you euphemize it. I said, you know, she got robbed, she got mugged. Right. And they hit her on the face. And you're very angry about it. And your dad is trying to hide it from you. So on some occasions I've said something like this.
Right. You do that.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to scar the children also.
Sorry, yeah.
You don't want to.
Yeah.
But the point is the choice of the POV, the camera POV. What was that?
I want you to be there.
Right. In the child's shoes.
And there are times I want you to be the woman. So there are various places where I have placed you in place of, because we don't realize, men, that a woman walking down the street has a different experience from what a man has. So I have tried to do those things a bit. The real challenge of coexistence is seeing your point of view. Once I stop seeing your point of view, I may have problem coexisting with you in this room.
Like my favorite quote is that I will differ with your opinion, but I will defend it to death.
Yeah.
Because you have the right to say what you have to, unless you're spreading hatred, but that's another conversation. We'll not get into that. I have a question for all three of you to sum it up before they drag me out of here, is that do you think cinema has the power to change people's minds? Because films like Assi are not entertainment, and that's a very frivolous word. They are engaging. I want them to be engaging. I want them to be talked about. But do you think they have the power to change things? Because I remember in my childhood, and Taapsee would remember that too, Rang De Basanti did spark some sort of change in people's minds. Everyone wanted to be different, even if it was short-lived. But do you think in today's time, when everything is just, the attention span has shortened because of this thing, do you think cinema still has the power to change things?
आपने लिखी है बोला आप बोलो. I don't know what in answering
You know,
this.
change is not absolute. It can't be quantified.
Okay.
So I don't know how to answer that. So my son told me one day, you started talking a lot about yourself. I wasn't aware. Now my son's telling me, so he's a well-wisher. He wants me to be a better human being. So then I looked at it. I didn't find it, but I trusted him. And I changed it. So that's awareness.
Right.
Which will cause change. Similarly, if you start talking about something that we don't talk about, you might realize, yeah, I wear my red shoes very often. I shouldn't. And then you'll do what you do with that information. But the information has to be on the table.
Kani, you have something to add?
Yeah, like I do think that film can, or many art forms can, poetry, storytelling, from storytelling that you hear, stories that you hear from your grandmother to many things can really kind of make you think and expand your mind, as it has a lot of power. But does change happens right after you hear a story, or I don't know that, because change takes its time. It's something that you keep practicing for it to kind of become the second nature. It will be struggling, but so for a systematic change system, everything has to be worked together. Sir was kind of saying, to make the film, he had to kind of not tell the truth to children, but is that the right way to go about it? I also think of this, like, from what age you can kind of start talking about things, and like everything is accessible these days. So how do you really have that conversation? And don't you have to have that conversations of about everything, about if something violent happened, by not telling my child is how I protect my child, or by telling, but which is the right language. So this is something, it's not like somebody tell me right now and I just know it and tomorrow I just have to start. It's and every generation is going to keep changing, and so that change is happening while we are evolving, while we understand this is the truth today, and it has to, so a willingness to really every time to know, okay, what is right now, and to learn from others, and to probably course correct, and then at the same time governance and system to make laws accordingly and implement them, and a lot have to work together to see a change. And sometimes, like for example, from my childhood to now, I do see a change in Kerala in certain things. Not everything. Some things have gone backward, some things have gone ahead. Like when I was 17, if I wear a denim, I'll be booed on the road. And to now, denim is normal in Kerala. I'm like, I saw it in my lifetime. I'm like, how did it happen? When did this happen?
And it's gradual.
Yeah, it's gradual. Sometimes you don't know how it happened. Yes, a lot of time girls still wore it. People started wearing. Sometimes it just changes just because suddenly it becomes normal, or something. Like sometimes it's not even these. It may be not a film or maybe not a movement, none of that. Sometimes a popular medium.
It became more popular because of...
You just don't know, but I do think all of this has power in that, but I don't think it's like one night change, unless it's sometimes, yes, you can't predict. There are situations of war, there are different kind of situations happens in different countries at the same time, in presently, and drastic change suddenly can happen. But otherwise, I think change takes time, and to implement and keep practicing it so that it is in your second nature, not to throw a thing on the road.
Right.
Like literally, like a lot of public things like that, it has to be practiced on regular basis to behave that way.
Taapsee.
Yeah.
See, I've been answering this question since Pink
Yeah,
to
Pink.
Thappad to...
Which is why it's important for it to...
Yeah,
now.
so ऐसा तो नहीं है after Pink, even after it was successful at the box office and critically, that suddenly molestations have stopped, or women are actually asked, are you okay with it or no? Consent is practiced. It's not like that. So I feel that that too much expectation is put on only films.
Agreed.
I feel the only thing that happened or that films can do is conversation. People start at least talking about it. That no means no became a pop culture kind of a phrase.
Right.
They could throw it very easily. That I've said no, and it means a no.
Consent, the word, not many people knew about it,
Yeah.
sadly. Then
Yeah.
they did. So, yeah.
So, conversation, and if conversation is held well together, is done in a proper way, of course it will lead to change. But who will do those conversations? You, me, everybody who gets triggered by watching it, it's in your hands. Now, don't put everything on film's shoulders. It's the people who are watching it and taking it, consuming it going out of the theatre, who can actually change it with just a conversation. So I think the ball is in their court more than the films.
There's another change that I want to talk about, another method. I was thinking while she was describing, that triggered this thought. Before Shah Rukh Khan became the star that he is, I never saw a hero run down the steps to give the lady a hand who's going to climb up. I never saw an actor do that. That's such an aspirational conduct that now you see it very often. Now that's a change. People are opening doors for women. Shah Rukh Khan is single-handedly responsible for this chivalry.
Chivalry, yeah.
That's
Because
because they want to be
and-
Shah Rukh Khan.
No, even
No,
if,
but we all do. But
Even if it
our
is-
idea of romance in Hindi cinema was very stalker-led.
yeah. No, he did that too.
That too, but not in a glorification.
Yeah,
way.
No, I'm talking about real life.
Yeah.
Shah Rukh was doing this in real life.
Real life too.
Now that has caused a change. So change is not that difficult an entity.
And it
But
must not always
keep doing
be
the right things.
And
And
implement.
he goes to the level where he'll correct her hair. He does it so beautifully. Not many people can even carry it off.
Of course.
But he does this with so much conviction and charm that you find
And
it
the intent
attractive.
also matters, because I know a lot of people who try to emulate will become creepy.
Yeah.
But you know, the intention is right, so you know that
Yeah.
it's right.
So I was thinking change happens in so many ways.
And like you said, it's not quantifiable.
yeah, right.
Even though you said maybe it's not a direct impact, but
Yeah, it will have
these
something.
Thappad and many such films or
Even if you have a basic conversation, like I remember in Pink, by the second week, we saw fathers and daughters walking out of the theater together. So I remember that visual. Is what that was the moment we felt we've been successful. So these will be the small. That's change.
That's change. That is change.
So that but to change the society, just one film cannot do it by itself. All of us together need to do it.
We can just plant a seed and then we can start it.
Yeah, a thought, yes.
So that's hoping on 20th of Feb, Assi can plant that seed.
I was looking at this poster.
Yeah, please.
It's such a good sign, this and this. That's Taapsee full poster, Taapsee's face. This full poster, Kani's face. And these are attractive posters for the audience. This is what I hear outside of this room. That is a change.
Yeah.
I think the era of leading women is back, and Rani
needs to come back.
Rani
Yeah.
has just done it,
It means to come back.
and we're doing it next.
Yeah. I sincerely hope that happens and happens to a degree that we can celebrate it.
It will
once that
happen.
happens. Yeah. I love the conviction on
Yes.
this. Yeah. Thank you for the time and all the best for Assi.
Thank you.
Thank
I will
you.
say congratulations for
Thank
Assi
you
too.
for
Thank
watching
you.
it. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
liking it.